1. Rats overrun Boston. Daylight infestation exposed in shocking video. 2. Boston's rat crisis. Health risks and city council's response. 1. Rats overrun Boston. Daylight infestation exposed in shocking video. Warning. Boston's rodent crisis reaches boiling point. Imagine strolling through Boston's picturesque streets, only to be greeted by an unsettling sight: rats scurrying about in broad daylight. This is the harsh reality for many residents, particularly in the South End, where a recent video expose has sparked outrage and renewed demands for a dedicated rat czar to tackle the issue head-on. But here's where it gets alarming. The footage, captured by Boston 25 News, shows rodents brazenly crawling near doorways, under cars, and through garbage bags, even attempting to climb into vehicles from underneath. This is not just a nuisance. It's a potential health hazard. A recent Tufts University study revealed that Boston's rat population is spreading leptospirosis, a disease that can be deadly to humans. District 2 Boston City Councilor Ed Flynn echoes the concerns of many, citing a significant increase in 311 calls regarding rodents, now the city's #1 complaint. And this is the part most people miss. Flynn shared chilling accounts from residents, including one who reported rats in their home, literally on their baby's crib. If that's not a priority, I don't know what is, Flynn emphasized, underscoring the urgent need for a standalone pest control department and a rat czar to spearhead the effort. South End residents like Wendy Ham are at their wits' end. "It's just disgusting," Ham exclaimed, describing the rat activity near her Montgomery Street home as a feast that seems to be met with inadequate seriousness. Neighbor Edward LeMay pointed out that while the lack of garbage bins in the South End contributes to the problem, it's not the only factor. "They say if you see them in the daylight, it is a problem, and we are seeing them in the daylight," LeMay noted, adding that the rats have made his yard a highway. A city in response mode. A Boston City spokesperson highlighted the deployment of over 250 sensors to track rodent activity, identify hotspots, and assess mitigation strategies. Neighborhood-specific interventions are underway, including sewer traps in the Back Bay and North End, and surface traps in Chinatown alleys. Additionally, the city's Inspectional Services Department (ISD) has conducted over 1,431 site cleanliness inspections and addressed more than 2,639 rodent-related complaints in the past year. The city's stance. The city is continuing to take an all-of-government approach to reduce the rat population and keep our neighborhoods safe and clean, a city spokesperson assured, outlining plans for innovative, neighborhood-specific measures to tackle rodent hotspots this summer. Now it's your turn. Do you think a dedicated rat czar is the solution to Boston's rodent crisis? Have you encountered similar issues in your neighborhood? Share your stories and suggestions in the comments below. Stay informed. Download the free Boston 25 News app for breaking news alerts. Follow Boston 25 News on Facebook and Twitter. Watch Boston 25 News now for live updates. Copyright 2025 Cox Media Group. 2. Boston's rat crisis. Health risks and city council's response. When it comes to the ongoing battle against urban rats, Boston residents are feeling the heat more than ever, and the city is finally waking up to the seriousness of the issue. But here's where it gets controversial. Recent research has revealed that Boston's rat populations are not just pests, but also carriers of tropical diseases like leptospirosis, a bacteria spread through rat urine that can cause a host of health problems. This discovery has ignited a fire under officials and residents alike, pushing the city to reconsider its pest control strategies. Rats have been a persistent nuisance throughout Boston's history, but the recent pandemic period seems to have exacerbated the problem. Mayor Michelle Wu introduced a broad plan last year, aimed at centralizing efforts across various city departments to curb the rat population significantly. Despite this, critics, including several city council members, argue that these measures are insufficient. They are advocating for a dedicated rat czar and a specialized office focused solely on pest control, believing that dedicated leadership could make a real difference. The current concern is heightened by a study from Tufts University, which found that leptospirosis remains active among the city's rat communities. This disease, more common in tropical climates, can pose serious health risks not only to residents but also to sanitation workers and anyone frequently outdoors. Council members like Ed Flynn are vocal about the urgency, often raising the issue during public hearings and emphasizing the need for a more aggressive, unified approach. Councilor Erin Murphy shared her alarm about the study's findings, stressing that leptospirosis presents a tangible danger, especially for those experiencing homelessness or for families living in affected neighborhoods. She suggested reconsidering the feasibility of establishing a dedicated rat czar, diverging from the city's initial resistance to such a position. Currently, the city executes pest control through a joint effort involving the Inspectional Services Department, the Public Works Department, and the Boston Water and Sewer Commission. The Wu administration continues to insist that this traditional, collaborative approach remains effective, pointing to ongoing, neighborhood-specific initiatives aimed at addressing hot spots. Nonetheless, critics argue that without a centralized authority or dedicated office, these efforts may lack the coordination needed for truly impactful results. Mayor Wu recently addressed these concerns in a social media post, outlining some of the strategies the city employs to control rat populations and improve public health. The city's response has garnered support among the council, with the recent passage of a hearing order that seeks to hear directly from city officials and outside experts on how best to proceed. Meanwhile, the residents' pleas have not gone unheard. Over 1,600 reports related to rat sightings and activity are currently logged in Boston's 311 complaint system. Stories from residents across neighborhoods like Brighton and South Boston paint a disturbing picture. Elderly residents stumbling over rats near dumpsters, families fearing for their safety, and property owners describing the problem as becoming an almost nightly struggle. One longtime South Boston resident described managing rats around his property as a kind of second job, criticizing the city's efforts as ineffective. Such stories amplify the call for immediate and more effective action. Recently, City Council member Ed Flynn even participated in a walkthrough of South Boston to better understand the scope of the problem firsthand. All of this points to a mounting public concern that cannot be ignored. If you find yourself wondering whether the city's current measures are enough, should Boston really invest in a dedicated pest control authority, or is it time for a radical overhaul? It's definitely worth a lively discussion. After all, when public health and quality of life are at stake, the true question remains: what will it take to finally get the rat problem under control?